So, welcome everyone to today's Science of Self-Realization reading. We will continue from 7th chapter, which we had just started, and we are at the very beginning of this chapter. So, yesterday we on this section, so I will start reading. What I will do is one, two paragraphs, each one will read, and we will discuss. Okay, so I'll start. The sages does not make any distinction on basis of color, intelligence, or species. He sees every entity as a small particle of spirit soul. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms which are measured as 1/10,000 of the upper part of the hair. Because we have no instrument to measure the dimension of the spirit soul, the small particle of the spirit soul is measured in this way. In other words, the soul is so small that it is smaller than an atom. The small particle is within you, within me, within the elephant, within the gigantic animals, in all men, in the ant, in the tree, everywhere. However, scientific knowledge cannot estimate the dimensions of the soul, nor can a doctor locate the soul within the body. Consequently, material scientists conclude that there is no soul, but that is not a fact. There is a soul. The presence of the soul makes the difference between a living body and dead body. So just because we cannot see a soul doesn't mean that it's not there. We cannot see air. We cannot see people beyond the wall, right? We cannot see. So our eyes are very limited. So how can we say, um, if I don't see, then it doesn't exist, right? So that's not a complete and a very good answer. So just like air, oxygen, we cannot see, but we know it is there. Similarly, when the living body is there and the dead body is there, the body in within the body nothing has changed. All the chemicals, everything is there. So then when we say he passed away, the owner within the body, which was the soul, according to Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't die. That passed. So therefore we can conclude. Consequently, material scientists conclude that there is no soul, but that is not the fact. There is soul. The presence of soul makes the difference between the living body and dead body. If a car, if we look from a far distance from the in a car, we may not see the driver, but that doesn't mean the car is running on its own. There has to be a driver, right? Even if there is this automatic cars which run by software, there is a software running behind it. There is an intelligence running behind it. Hmm? So there has to be some intelligence running behind it. Similarly, soul is that intelligent person within the body which is driving this body. As soon as the soul departs from this body, the body dies. It has no value. Otherwise, however great a scientist or a philosopher one may be, he must admit that as soon as the soul departs from the body dies. It is then it then has no value and has to be thrown away. We should try to understand this. The soul is valuable and not the body. The fact is the soul is transmigrating is explained in the Bhagavad Gita 2.22. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinati naropanari तथा शरीरानि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्याय samyati navani dehe. As a garment, sorry, as a person put new garments, giving up old ones, similarly the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So our body is just like clothes. We change clothes every day. Similarly, the body takes, we change bodies. So body is changing anyway. We started as a baby, toddler, youth, and now we may be in our middle age, and one age will come. So our body is changing. Okay, our body is changing. It's like clothes. At the time of that, completely new body will be appearing. Maybe a man's body, woman's body, animal's body, whatever, depending on a karma. So when a suit becomes old, we give it up and it accepts another suit. Similarly, the soul is changing dress according to desire. Because the soul is part and parcel of God, it has godly qualities. Okay, we have qualities as in God, but quantity wise we are not the same. God is the supreme will, the supreme power, the supreme independent one, and we, being the part and parcel of Him, have these quantities in minute quantity, have these qualities in minute quantity. So our quantity wise, we are very minute, but quality wise, it is same. Therefore, we are not God, but we are godly. And if you remember, um, few weeks or few months back, we were discussing uh, the soul is like a small god. It is not full god, but it's a small god because it is controlling one body. It's a Ishvara in the sense that it is controlling, one body. So we are godly, but not God. We have the thinking, willing, feeling, and desiring. In the Vedas, it is said that the God is the supreme living force among all living entities. Chetanas Chetananam. He is also supplying the necessities of all living entities. Okay. Someone volunteer to read the next two paragraphs. Anyone?
I will read.
Sure, sure. Go ahead. We living entities are innumerable.
We living entities are innumerable. There is no limit to our number. God, however, is one. He is also living, as we are, but we are minute particles of that living force. Yeah, minute particles of that living force. For example, a particle of God is
Gold.
the same. Sorry. For example, a particle of gold is the same in quality as gold
Mine.
mine. If we chemically analyze the ingredients in a small drop of water, we will find all of the ingredients that are to be found in the vast ocean. In a similar way, we are one with God, being His part and parcel. This godly particle, the soul or the living force, is transmigrating from aquatics to trees and plants, and then from trees and plants to insect life, then to reptile life, then to the bodies of of birds and beasts. Darwin's theory of evolution is but a partial explanation of of the transmigration of the soul. Darwin has simply taken information from Vedic literature, but he has no conception of the soul. The difference is that the soul is transmigrating from aquatic life to plants and trees, then to insect life, then to bird life, then animal life, then human life, and within human life, he moves from uncivilized life to civilized life, etc. The civilized life of a human being represents the culmination of evolution. Here is a junction. From this point, we can again slide down into the cyclic process of evolution, or we can elevate ourselves to godly life. The choice is up to us. This is indicated in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, just
This,
just hold. So Prabhupada says that Darwin theory of evolution is the evolution part is right, but Darwin's had no information of the soul. So he thought the body itself is changing. But from the Vedic standpoint, the evolution is not of the body. The evolution is of the soul. The soul is unchanging, but just like one is changing clothes, the soul changes body according to his desire and karma, and he transmigrates from aquatic life to plant to tree to insect to bird, animal, human being, within human being, from uncivilized to civilized, and even a demigod. So the evolution is taking place, but it's of the soul, not of the body. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, go ahead. This human form of life actually means. Go ahead. Are you reading? You're maybe on mute.
Yes, Prabhu. I was on it. Yeah. This human form of life actually means developed consciousness. Therefore, we should not waste our lives like cats, dogs, and hogs. This is the injection. Although this body is perishable like a dog's or cat's body, it it is different in that one can attain the highest perfection in this life. We are part and parcel of God, but somehow or the other we have fallen into this material existence. Now we have to evolve in such a way that we can go back to home, back to Godhead. That is the highest perfection.
Okay.
Shall I continue? Okay.
Someone else would like to read the next two paragraphs, or Prabhuji can continue. No one? Okay, Prabhu, you continue.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, you read.
From where we have to read?
There is
There is
actually, yeah, yeah, there is actually
there is
another one.
actually another word, the spiritual word, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.20. Paras tasmat tu bhavo anyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yahsa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu cha vinashyati. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to his manifested or unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
So, what is the name of this place?
Goluka,
Yeah, Golok, Vrindavan, or Vaikunta.
Vaikuntha. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
In this material world, everything is created. It stays for some time, produces some byproduct, dwindles, and finally vanishes. Our bodies are created as a certain moment by sexual intercourse, and the semen of the father emulsifies and takes the form, and the living entity or the soul takes shelter in that form. And because it takes shelter, it develops hand, legs, eyes, etc. The development is complete in the seventh month and in the ninth month. The human being comes out of the womb. It is because the soul is present that the child develops. If the soul is not present, there is no development, and the child is born dead. He can take this dead body and preserve it in the chemicals, but it will not develop. Development means change of body. All of us have had baby bodies, but these bodies are no longer existing. The body of the baby develops into the body of the child, and the body develops into the baby of the boy, and the boy develops into the youth body, and this eventually turns into an old man body. Yatha asmin yatha dehe, right, Prabhu? No, which shloka is saying?
Dehinosm yata
Dehino
dehe.
asmin, yeah, Dehino asmin yatha dehe. Okay. Finally, the body completely vanishes, and the whole cosmic manifestation, the gigantic form of this material body, is also working according to this sum process. It is created as a certain point, it develops, it manifests, maintained, and at the certain stage it is dissolved. That is the nature of the material world. It is a manifest at the certain interval, and again it vanishes. Bhutva bhutva
Praliyate.
praliyate. The word bhava means nature, that is another nature which never dissolves, which is eternal as Jiva, spirit, soul. We are also eternal. It is verified in the Bhagavad Gita 2.20. Na jayate mayate na kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita vacha bhuya अजो नित्यः सश्वतो यम पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death, nor having once been. Does he ever cease to be? He is unborn, eternal, never existing, ever existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Just as a God has no birth or death, the spirit soul can never neither birth not death. But because we think I am this body, we consider that we are born and we and that we die. Such thinking of called Maya, the illusion. And as soon as we get out of this illusion of identifying the soul with the body, we attain the stage called Brahma Bhuta. When one realizes Aham Brahmasmi, I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Brahman, he attains what is called Brahman realization. As soon as Brahman realization is attained, one becomes happy.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry. With
so,
this,
uh, so
just go on.
Prabhupada talked a lot of the thing here, but the point is that the soul never dies, and once we understand that we are not the body, the external body, but the soul, that realization of Brahma, that I am Brahman. Brahman here means I am spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Brahman. Then we become happy. And this happiness is on not on the material platform, it is on the spiritual platform. Then we understand, okay, I'm not going to die at all. Um, there was a philosopher thousands of years back. His name was Socrates. In ancient Greek time, his name was Socrates. His book is written even today. This is a very famous painting of his. It's not coming clean. Let's see. Images. Hmm. Yeah. So this is a famous painting. What is happening here is, because he was a philosopher, some issue happened with his philosophy and the way the king wanted to rule. So he told Socrates not to preach his philosophy, and then Socrates didn't agree on that, and therefore the king told that he should be killed. So this scene is where Socrates is given poison to drink to end his life. And Socrates is about to drink the poison, and he says, I am so small that you can't even catch me. So he had come to this understanding that um, I'm not the body but the soul. And that understanding overcame him even death, which is very, very fearful for all beings, right? Death is very fearful. But just by the philosophical understanding that I am not the body but I am something different from the body, the soul, the spirit soul, which never dies, which is moving from one body to another, he could overcome that fear of death. So, this is what it means by happiness, by that confidence that one gets just by knowing the fact that he's the soul. Yeah, someone else can read now. Next two paragraphs.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I should read that.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is this not a fact?
This is not a fact. If you understand clearly that you have no birth and death, that you are eternal, you will not become happy. Yes, certainly. Thus, when one is Brahman realized, spiritually realized, he has no more to do with hankering or lamentation. The whole world is simply hankering and lamenting. You, you African people who are now hankering to be like Europeans and Americans, but Europeans have lost their empire and now they are lamenting. So in one part is hankering and another is lamenting. Similarly, this material life is simply a combination of hankering and lamenting. We are hankering for those things that we do not possess, and we are lamenting for those things that we have lost. That is our material business. If we realize, however, we are a part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Para Brahman, and that we are Brahman, then we will transcend this hankering and lamenting. The so-called universal brotherhood or unity
So just
that
hold. It's a very interesting point. When we become happy, then our wants, our desires, they will just go away. They'll reduce and then they'll go away, right? When we become happy, we don't want anything else, right? Isn't that the feeling when we are at peace with oneself? We really don't want anything. Similarly, this Brahman realization is like this. I'm the soul, and this world is just temporary, and I I don't need anything else. So therefore the hankering and the lamenting just stops, isn't it?
But in material life, if we are happy, but that is only for some time. Prabhu. Again, we need some
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Material life is like that. Good, you told me. Let me just show you something. See, this is a picture. You can see what it is. We are the soul. We are driving this body, and this body is simply a mechanical machine, a biomechanical machine. Heart is like a pump. Brain is like memory. Eyes are like camera. Bones is like pneumatic machines. It Legs are like tires. There's a liver. There's a all so many things are there, and the soul is driving it. And near to the soul is a super soul. So when we understand, we are not the external body. We are not the car, but we are the driver of it. Then if the car goes bad, because we have to drive to a destination, we will be happy to change the body, right? We'll be happy to change the car. Like suppose you're traveling to, let's say, Bangalore to Delhi, and you're going by bus. Someone is joining. Yeah, and suppose we are going from Bangalore to Delhi in a bus or in a car, and let's say we are driving it, and after like 200 300 kilometers the car stops, and we come to know, okay, car is not going to move. We try so many times to repair it, but it doesn't work. Then then if we get another car to sit in, won't we be happy? Because what is more important, reaching the destination is important, or the car is important? So in our case the destination is important, right? Because we want to reach Delhi. Now at this point I have to change cars because one car has gone bad, and if I get another car I'll be just be happy. So if we are attached that no, I only want that car only, then we'll be lamenting and hankering. But when we are focused on the goal, the spiritual goal, then okay, I will just move into some another good car and I'll move, right? Isn't it? Isn't it that we do every day? If you go in some rickshaw, if the rickshaw goes down, then we just say, okay, I'll book another rickshaw. We are not worried what will happen to this rickshaw, because we are detached, because our focus is on the goal. And another thing you talked about, material happiness, right? Hmm. Material happiness. We are contemplating. Like here, this that cartoon is there. We are contemplating on some device. Oh, we want that device, and then it has been advertised like anything. Oh, it will be make us happy and all that, and we'll be the first person in the line to buy it, and then everyone will look at us and say, "Wow, he got it. He got that device." But then after 1 year, another new device comes in, and now we are having the old device. Now we want to buy the new device, but we don't have money. So then we take loans and do all kinds of things to get that. Then we get the money and we buy that device, and after that, the next year another new device comes. So this never stops. The hankering, the lamenting, they never stops on the material platform, right? Isn't it?
Yes, bro.
So yeah, this cartoon gives a very nice depiction of our state of hankering and lamenting. Hmm? um, I always give this example. When couples marry, right, there is a phase which is before marriage phase, and then there is a after marriage phase, right? So before marriage, boy and girl, they talk with each other on phone for hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, and they just don't uh, they are unaware whether it is night or day. Sometimes the call starts at 8 o'clock in the night and it goes till morning 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. What they are talking. Now in the phase after marriage, what happens? After a few years of the marriage, do they talk like that? No, right? It never happens like that. It is a very short phone call with the same person who one was spending like hours before marriage, right? So this material world and material nature is like that. It is very temporary, um and it will have a phase of happiness and then a phase of distress. Agreed?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, this marriage example I always give, because it's a very it's everyone's experience
But
before
Prabhu, after
marriage.
marriage, you are living together. So why will you talk so much, so long? See, earlier, like we are not living together. Like whoever two people are going
So
to,
anyway, the excitement
yeah.
dies out,
When you live together, then what is there to? Yeah,
so we come to know the limits of the person.
yeah.
We come to know the limits of the person. So and then we are looking for unlimited happiness, no? Right? So when we come to the limits of the other person, the same excitement is not there, it dies off. So therefore, marriage is more a duty. So if one is dutiful, then he can overcome this material temporariness. Otherwise, we see people jumping from one relationship to another, to another, to another, to another, thinking that that person will make me happy, that person will, but it doesn't end. Why? Because each one of us is limited, and we are trying to access unlimited pleasure from a limited being. How it is possible? So only when we reach to Krishna, that then we will be happy. So for in this material world, now the best way to live is to live it as a duty, rather than to live it as a with great expectations of happiness and this and that, and then we become upset. People marry, they have so much of love marriage and all this, but later on that love marriage sometimes becomes very um what to say, hate. It becomes hate marriage. um so the best is If there is love, if there is attraction, but if there is no responsibility, there is no duty, then everything is going to fail. So the dutiful feeling, the karma yoga feeling should be there, and that keeps us aloof from this material hankering and distress. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead. The so-called material brotherhood. Who is reading?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll continue.
Continue for this paragraph. Yeah.
The so-called universal motherhood, brotherhood, or unity that the United Nations is trying to achieve is possible only when you come to spiritual platform or Brahman realization. Brahman realization is the aim of human life. One should not work like cats, dogs, and hogs. The hog is always very busy, is very busy day and night, trying to find stool, and when he finds it, he eats it and becomes sexually agitated and has sex without discrimination. A hog will have sex with his mother or sister or anyone else, and this is a hog's life. However, the scriptures indicate that the human form of life is not meant for working hard for sense gratification like cats, dogs, and hogs. It is meant for realizing I do not belong to this material world. I am spirit, soul, and eternal. But somehow or other, I have fallen into this conditional life of birth, old age, disease, and death. This human form of life is meant for making a solution to these four material miseries: birth, old age, disease, and death. That is the aim of human life. Just try to understand that. Human life is not meant for working very hard like hogs and then having some sense gratification and then all of a sudden dying.
Yeah, so human life is not meant for such thing. Human mind is meant for spiritual understanding, spiritual realization. And we can do spiritual realization, spiritual practice if we take care of our material life as a duty. Otherwise, the material life will drag us, right? If somebody is hankering and lamenting, how can they practice spiritual life? What to speak of just hankering and lamenting? If someone is diseased, some issue is there in the body, then practicing spiritual life also becomes difficult, right? So we have to have dutiful attitude in maintaining this body and in recreation. So there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita which says that our recreation should be regulated. What is it? You remember? It's 6.17. युक्त आहारस्य विहारस्य युक्त चेतस कर्मसु युक्त स्वप्नबोधस्य योग भवति दुःखदः. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So we have to regulate our eating, our sleeping, recreation, and work. Once we do this, then practicing the spiritual life becomes easy. Getting? Agreed. Any question on this?
Yes, Prabhu. Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. So let's go a little detail. How do we regulate eating?
Eating prasadam,
Okay, sure.
eating balanced life actually,
Eating is
balanced food.
prasadam.
Avoiding non-veg and onion garlic.
Yes, all that is included when we say prasadam, no? Sure.
Okay.
Then sleeping, recreation, and work. How do we, regulate our sleeping, recreation, work? Sleeping?
We should go to sleep early and wake up a morning Brahma Muhurta and we have to do chanting.
Okay. Sleep early, wake up early. How many hours of sleep? How many hours of sleep? How
Six,
many? Yeah.
6
6 hours.
hours Prabhu, as
Sorry?
given in scriptures. So 6.
What? I didn't hear.
6 is given in the scripture Prabhu, so 6 is the recommended one.
Minimum 6, maximum 8. Children sometimes need 8 hours. Sometimes they can sleep more than that. But children is fine. Minimum 6. If anything less than 6, what will happen? If we sleep less than 6 hours, what will happen?
Health will not be healthy.
Meaning, what will happen?
Like hormonal imbalance and those kind of things will happen.
Anything more? Well, what kind of sleep issues we will get if we sleep less than 6 hours? This talk about hormonal imbalance. Okay, yeah, that is also there. Then insomnia. Actually, insomnia is sleeping disorder, So kind of like we'll get sleeping disorder. Anything more? Let's sleep. What happens when we sleep less? What happens? How is our mood?
We will be in a tired mode and will be
Yeah,
in
bad mood,
bad mode and not able to
tired.
work next day,
Yeah,
not focused. Work.
lazy, or not focused. Yeah, good.
Can we say we'll go to mode of ignorance and passion if we don't sleep well?
Yes. Okay. What happens if we sleep more than 8 hours?
Mode of ignorance.
Okay. Mode of ignorance and
And
what?
that also like health may impact in some of the other like
Okay, health
physical.
impacts are there. Oh, fine. Health impacts are there. Yes, and more. What is the symptom of sleeping more than 8 hours? Lazy. We'll find that we'll become more lazy. Okay, so it should be in between 6 and 8. Hmm? Okay, so recreation. What is recreation? Krishna uses the word recreation, and its technical word is viharasya. Vihara. What does vihar means? Recreation. So yeah, tell me. Viharasya. Let's put it in simple words. Picnic, party, what? What people do for recreation? Picnic, party.
Travels.
Travels. Okay. Now, how to regulate the recreation and which recreation to choose?
Which gives pleasance to the mind.
Yeah, which
Prabhuji,
doesn't. Huh? Yeah, tell me.
Sankirtan and other things are the recreation you should choose with
What? What?
devotees.
Sorry.
Any kind of Sankirtan or any kind of devotional
Sure.
activities, spiritual trips, that is what we should do
Yeah.
for
It should
recreation.
be non-agitating to mind. It should be in mode of goodness. It should be sattvic in nature, mostly with devotees. That is what you're telling, right? Hmm? So all our picnic parties, travels, and so let's say in the Vedic times, how this Vedic recreation were taken. Modern times we know. Modern times we are living, right? Modern times picnic happens, party happens, birthday parties, wedding anniversaries, marriage parties, travels happen, Goa, Coimbatore, or what, Bangalore, or we are staying in Bangalore, right? So all this kind of travels takes place now. What more? Kerala trip. Lot of people must have gone to Kerala now, right? Because it is very cold there. I mean, it is not very hot there now, so that is there. So in the Vedic times, how these picnic parties and travels were happening, can you tell me some examples, and then
They
we can
they
understand. Yeah.
they used to go to forests and mm, cook everyone and together and eat uh, and spend together.
There's another way. There's another word for that whole thing.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes,
What is
that
it?
is.
What is it?
I think they used to go to temples, visit temples, and they would stay in the temple with family and something like that.
Okay, okay. um every year, anyone Telugu year?
Sorry, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Telugu.
I am Telugu. Yeah,
Yes,
Telugu
yes.
speaking.
I am also.
Yeah, which is that yearly festival that is made, no? I'm not remembering the name.
It is Vana Bhojanam, Prabhu. Vana Bhojanalu
No,
means
no,
like
Vanabhojam is fine. Vanabhojam is fine. There is this.
Kartik Masam.
No, no, Kartik Masam is fine. There is a yearly Ugadi.
yes,
Ugadi.
yes. Ugadi.
What in Kerala it is called Onam.
Onam, yes, ma'am.
And in Telugu it is called Ugadi.
Ugadi.
Ugadi. Okay, what is this festival Ugadi? Can you tell me?
The Saitya Masam, Prabhu, Telugu, and it will be Prabhu 60 years is there. Prabhava, Ibhava, Sukla, Prabhodota, Yeswara,
No,
like
no,
that
you tell
yearly it will
what
change.
happens on the Ugadi festival.
It was New Year, Prabhu. Telugu,
What
ante సంవత్సరం.
what all happens? How do they celebrate?
Uttarayana means that is Ayana Ayana will change. Dakshinayana to maybe Uttarayana
Oh,
it will
that is
come.
fine. That is fine. I'm not
Prabhu,
saying that. You tell me
Prabhu,
on that day,
Prabhu,
how does a family celebrate Ugadi, Onam? In Karnataka, what
yeah.
what we say?
Ugadi means they will celebrate with Pachade means the chutney they means some Vapa means వేపాకు అనే ఒక స్పెషల్ చట్నీ ఇస్ దే ప్రభు
All the
మ్యాంగో
states.
అంటే ఆల్ టేస్ట్స్ ఎస్ ఎస్ ప్రభు స్వీట్ సోర్ అండ్
Okay,
ఆల్
fine.
టైప్ ఆఫ్ టేస్ట్స్
Yeah, there is
మిక్సింగ్
food. There is food. Okay, there is food
ఫుడ్
created, and then what
yes
else?
అంటే
What all happens? Just the food and
అంటే
all that.
మిక్సింగ్
That's it.
ఆల్ టేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ ఇట్ విల్ ఇన్సైడ్ వన్ చట్నీ ఇట్ విల్ దమ్ దే విల్ ద
That's fine. That's fine.
బేస్
That's
స్పెషల్
fine. That's okay. What else happen? Food preparation
Uh,
is one thing. Agreed.
yes, sir.
Mix food and
So,
mix sabji and chutney and all that. Fine. But what else
so
is happening?
yeah, coming to this recreation, there is another festival, Prabhu, in Telangana. So it is Dasara. We go
Dasara.
to
Yeah, I
like
think same, right? This is
yes.
another
No, no,
names.
no. Ugadi and Dasara both are different.
Okay.
Um,
Sure.
okay, so
So
during
yeah,
Dasara time,
yeah. What
so
all
what we
happens?
do
There
is
is food,
yeah,
and then
yeah. What we do is we go to temple and we go to some shemi tree, and meet the people association. meet with the like priests and then all the villagers,
Okay,
friends, old
okay,
friends
okay.
get together like.
People and family get together. Okay, is there some alcohol in this festival?
No, no, no.
No, no, Prabhu.
New dress, all are wear the new dress.
New dress, yeah, good, good, good. New dress. Hey, do they clean the house?
Yeah, that is everything. That will be there. Uh,
Uh,
New son-in-law, if you come now, they invite the son-in-law to home.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine, fine. That is all family and people get together. So you
they
see, so you
not
see this festival, Vedic times, na, there was festivals which would which would be the real recreation of the people. And these festivals like Ugadi, Onam, Dashera, people would get together. There would be food, there would be temple, there would be worship, there would be no alcohol, there would be new dress, hmm? And there would be dramas, dance, what more? Music.
Prabhu, in Tamil Nadu we have the same thing like in
What is the name?
Tamil Nadu only, but
What name it
Tamil
is?
and Pongal, which
Pongal,
actually
Pongal. Pongal,
they pray to the sun god and they thank
Sure,
the
sure,
sun
sure. Yeah. So this is, so point
farmers.
is, in the Vedic times, the recreation was meant to be done in the festival. So in a year, many festival comes. Diwali. We forgot about Diwali. Big festival, right? Dashera, Diwali is big festival. Ugadi, Onam, all this Pongal,
Sankranti.
Sankranti. Yeah, yeah,
Sankranti.
yeah. So what is the trend here? The trend is that recreation should happen in the festivals, and everything is in their festivals. Food, temple, travel, picnic, party, and it is in mode of goodness. No alcohol, right? Is there meat eating? No meat eating.
But
Those the
Prabhu,
families where they
Prabhu,
eat meat, they won't eat meat on these days. Agreed?
Prabhuji, in some communities, they eat meat in some of these
Yes,
festivals.
summer community you're talking.
Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah.
general, they don't,
Some communities.
and it
Yeah.
won't be on that day. It will be on some other day. Somehow on that day they will also abstain. You know, somehow that day they will abstain. Some other day they will do. Okay. Anyway, the point is recreations would happen in the times of festivals, and Krishna is saying even this festival should be regulated. What does he mean by regulating festivals?
As you said, there should not be no meat eating and no alcohol,
Okay, sure. So
at
it should
least
be
on
in
the
mode of
festival
goodness.
days.
Okay. So it should be first of all mode of goodness. Anything more? How to regulate festivals? What all ideas you get? It should be in mode of goodness. Okay. That covers a lot of things. And what else more?
Prabhuji, can we say that praying to demigods is
No,
the
that is fine. That is
regulation?
fine.
That's fine.
Um, so today, how does Ganesh festival is celebrated in Karnataka, Bangalore, in Delhi, in Mumbai, Pune, and why people say we should regulate those festivals? What is the issue in those festivals?
So we, especially in Pune and Kolkata, North
Uh-huh.
Indian states like Mumbai and Hyderabad, so they celebrate for 9 to 11 days, Prabhuji.
That is fine.
So
What is
so
the
regular,
what is the
yeah.
problem that people are seeing in those festivals?
Water pollution because of the chemicals used in the creating the idols. There's some kind of water pollution.
Okay.
So they say,
What all kinds of
uh,
pollution is happening?
so they don't use pure,
Okay, fine.
clay.
Isn't there some noise pollution happening?
Yeah, too
Some
much
water
cinema.
pollution
They're
because the
playing cinema
proper,
songs,
yeah, that
and
is
they're
fine. That is fine. Okay. And anything
too
more? Anything more?
noise pollution also from.
Noise pollution, water pollution, earth pollution.
And they demand money from the passerbys also.
Okay, yeah, that comes in mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, it's like that. So it should not be done for and what more happens? What are the timings of the festival?
So
Sometimes it,
it is
it goes in midnight, early mornings. So the
yes,
timing should
people.
be daytime. You know, timing should be daytime most of the time. It should not be night. It should not be night is for sleeping. Hmm? It can go max till like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the night, and then after that, it just should be closed, and you should regulate it. What else more? Regulating festivals. It should not be for fun. You see, if we ask these modern people, what is Diwali? Diwali is festival of what? What will they say? Diwali is festival of. It starts with L, ends with T. That's all they say. Diwali is festival of. What does this modern people say? If you ask Diwali, what happens on Diwali? It is a festival of lights, right? They only say it's a festival of lights. Whole house they will put lights, 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 lights everywhere. And for them, it's more of fun. Whole night crackers or eating sweets. There is family get together and all that. But that family get together is for what purpose? Just social family get together. This should be avoided. Then how should be that family get together? It should be for what? Spiritual advancement, right? This is missing, right? So this is how you start regulating festivals also and recreation. Otherwise, what happens is Diwali, people are just enjoying, and then the heart is not transforming. So much of eating is going on, and in Diwali, they will increase their weight, increase their sugar, and they will remain the same. But Diwali is what? Is a festival of lights or is a festival of inviting Lord Ram into our heart? What does it mean by inviting Lord Ram into our heart? It means that we are taking his instructions, his life story, his devotion to Lord Ram. We are taking that in our heart. So it should be meant for spiritual advancement. And that is what it means by regulating recreation, regulating these festivals. Okay. Now, how do we regulate work? What are the points of regulating work? We have a term called workaholic. In Japan, there's a word called karoshi. I think I just want to just do Google. Oops, what did I do? Uh, what did I do? Okay, I'll go another page. Are you there? Can you hear me?